Hello, Rebecca here, filming a video for Peartree Cutfiles, creating a layout using the Arrows cut file from the March release. And before I get started, I just need to apologise for the variation in lighting in this video. It was filmed at several different times of day over the course of several days, and sometimes the light is streaming in and sometimes it's dark, so I will apologise for that in advance. So to start off, I'm creating a mixed media background for my cut file to sit on, and I'm doing that using some Distress Oxide sprays. I've selected 4 shades that get used on the page. That is Cracked Pistachio and Twisted Lemonade going on there. I also used a tiny bit of Twisted Citron and some Faded Jeans as well. That is Twisted Citron going on there, and I actually decided I don't like the shade of green and wipe it off, but it does actually stain the paper and give a bit of a different variation in colour down at the bottom part of that page. So I do quite like actually the effect that it gave. So my aim is to have slightly darker shades over on the left hand side, blending out into paler, lighter shades on the right hand side, with quite a soft, undefined edge over on the right hand side. So that there is Faded Jeans going on, and I just keep playing around trying to get a sort of graduation of colour. I don't need my mixed media to reach right across onto the left hand side, because I know that I want to have some paper laying over the side on that side. So I'm trying to make my background look pretty. Mixed media often looks a little bit of a mess until you get going with it, really. So once I'm happy with my mixed media, I have used the draw function on my scan and cut machine, and I've used that to create almost a stamped effect using the cut files, but I've used just the outline function and also the filling in function. I'm not sure what that's called on other machines. That's the sort of terms on the brother machine. So again, I'm trying to darken up that left hand edge. So I'm going in with a stencil. That one is from Bramble Fox. I think it's called Fox Cut number 5. And I'm using just an old makeup brush actually, and some black StazOn ink to apply over onto that left hand side to get a bit of a darker shade across on the left. Unfortunately, I have smudged the ink on the top right hand side, which ends up shaping the layout. I don't even think I've realised it just yet. So I'm going in, stamping with some just yellow pigment ink. That stamp is from AB Studios. It's just little crosses. And just doing this adds a little bit of variation in the background, a little bit of texture. And the yellow pigment ink sits on top of those Distress Oxides really well. So again, that is another AB Studios stamp. I'm not sure the name of that stamp, but it's kind of like a scribbly writing. So I'm using black ink again for that. And that goes on in various spots up the page, just to, again, add a bit of texture into the background. So next, to add another dimension to that background, I've found this stencil, which is from Studio Light, Stencil Mask SL16. And I'm using some Decofoil transfer gel to create a stenciled area on the background. I thought this stencil reminded me of arrows, and I thought would suit this particular layout quite well. It's quite grungy, which is quite my style. So that goes on white, but it does dry clear. So once I've put that on, I'll leave that to dry overnight and come back the next day, and it's completely clear. So there you can see that's completely dried. You can just about see it almost looks a little bit yellowy greeny. It's quite shiny if you didn't apply foil to it, but I've go through and apply some mint coloured foil from Heidi Swap Mink line, and I just run that through my Mink machine. It's so stunning. I just love foiling. It's just so pretty. I just get the wow moment every time I take that foil off. I love it. So there you can see I've cut my cut file in black cardstock and I have backed it using the escape paper from Let's Wander. I have put quite a bit of foam on the back because I wanted quite a bit of dimension, so I've used I think I've doubled it up on the back of the arrow cut file. And there I'm creating some torn edges. Those pieces of paper are just out of my scrap box, but I think one of them actually is from Vicky Booty. I think that's from the star one. I think is from the Storyteller collection. So I create two sort of torn strips using those scraps of paper that will go on the left hand side. I want them to be quite dark shades of paper just to sort of suit that darker shaded bit of the background. And I'm putting on some of the Sticks to foam sheets in strips on the back just to give that a bit of a lift. And there we go with my easy runner ground tape runner and sticking that down. So eventually I will adhere everything, but I'm just working out where I want things to go. In my head I wanted things to go down at the bottom, but that smudge up at the top does eventually make me change my mind. So I'm still determined I want things to go down there, but yeah, I do change my mind. So taking those backing papers off, which I find really tricky, and I will adhere the arrow over onto the sort of left-hand side of the mixed media background. So now that's stuck, I've decided, right, okay, I need to cover that smudge. And I'm working out where I want my things to go. This Let's Go title is from Bramble Fox, and those two teal arrows are also from Bramble Fox. Perspectives from the Fox Box, which I've subscribed to. So I've mounted my photo with a black and white photo mat, and I decide, yeah, photo's going to go there to cover that smudge. So I'm working out again where I want things to go, and eventually I will stick those perspectives down with some glossy accents. Half of that Let's Go has some foam on it just to support the right hand side of it, because the left hand side is propped up on top of those arrows. So that's going to go there. I kind of wanted things a little bit wonky, and those arrows are perfect for that layout as well. I've used a couple of the negative pieces from the black cardstock when I cut my cut file, and I decided to add a couple of those pieces in. Are they negative pieces or positive pieces? Maybe they're positive pieces. I don't know. Anyway, they're the leftover pieces on the mat from when I've cut my cut file. So I'm going to add a few of those in. I'm just working out where I want them to sit. Sorry about that camera wobbling. You can see that lighting, it's just crazy. It's streaming in my window. My window is south facing, so I'm never in control of the lighting. That's with the blind shut as well. So those little arrows are going on with some glossy accents. There I'm putting on some Ecoline ink in black just to add a bit more splatter. As mentioned before, I'm quite a messy scrapper. If things look neat, I have to go in and mess them up. So I do that with a little bit of black ink, and then I do the same with some of the cracked pistachio distress oxides, just smaller splatters, and I go along and splat just that edge, covering my photo so it doesn't get any on there. So I'm adding those arrows just tucked underneath the photo. I really like how they look in the end up there on that top right hand corner. I've created some journaling strips using my Dymo machine. Just almost like a subtitle really. So I use my T-square to make sure that those lines go on wonky. I didn't want them on straight. So I wanted to know what was straight, and then I ignored the straight line and put them on wonky. Now I spend a little bit of time working out where I want embellishments to go. I don't use a tremendous amount of embellishments really. These are also from the Let's Wander collection by Vicky Boutin, but there are quite a few arrows in that collection, and the colours really suit this layout as well, so I do spend some time working out where I want things to go. Embellishing takes me forever. So those things, there's another arrow going on. I'm really liking how this is looking now. I like that top, the photo up at the top now instead of at the bottom. I actually think it worked out much better than I had initially planned. Yeah, so still going through the Let's Wander collection and just adding little bits of stickers that suit the layout. I love that collection. I haven't got a huge amount of the papers left, but luckily Vicky Boutin collections kind of suit each other, don't they? So a little geotag going above Let's Go. And here I'm putting on some sequins. I love a sequin. These are from Little Things from Lucy's Cards. I think these are sparkling mint. Again, they suited the colours in the layout. And there you can see the lovely shine from the foiling. And that's the finished piece. I absolutely love how this came out. I think there's quite a lot of texture in the background, and it's hard to believe there's actually only one cut file on there because of all the background detail. But it does show you how you can use a cut file in different ways. Obviously you can back it, you can use it as a background piece, you can use the negative pieces as well. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.